got the vibe, we got the juice, baby. Ooh.
Hey, what's up everybody? You're watching Frugal Mommy. Today we're doing something super special. I'm taking you inside of Hempburger, which is a raw vegan restaurant, and we're going to talk to the chef and owner and find out a little bit about the raw vegan diet. I had the opportunity to visit Hempburger Cafe, located in Northeast Washington, D.C. Raw vegan chef Khepra Anu has been killing the raw vegan game for quite some time now, so it was only right to stop at his restaurant to pick his brain.
Well, it began just wanting to, being curious about health and really just some of the higher mysteries of life. So it wasn't just about health, it was about culture, it was about history, you know, just on a quest for just information that you're not taught in school, you're not taught by your parents necessarily. You know, growing up in church, and you know, you pretty much, I was indoctrinated to think a certain way, and you know, and once I began to, you know, get introduced to different things, it was like, oh, okay, I need to put on my investigative cap and you know, really learn about these things, and it really, you know, obviously, getting introduced to the whole concept of not eating animals, that was just like, fascinating to me, and it just really just kind of sparked the desire to go deeper, go further, and you know, ultimately I say, wow, you know, just food that is not cooked, you know, and it just made so much sense. But you know, I'm a really young person at this, I'm a teenager at this stage, and you know, so the seed was planted, but you know, you're talking, this is like, you know, we're in the late 80s at this point. So, you know, nobody's using computers, information is not, you know, just readily available, you know, in those days, you know, where I could, you know, just Google it, or, you know, you had to go through either someone you knew, a book, something like that, get your hands on video. So, you know, information just wasn't like that. But the seed was planted, and you know, started experimenting with not eating meat, especially red meat at that time. And then, you know, just learning about, just learning. And, you know, ultimately one thing really led to another. I mean, it's been a long journey. Because even with doing vegan, vegetarian, you know, that had its place with me. But I knew that raw was really the way to go, and it wasn't anything like it was just really just like what Spirit told me. It's like it just made sense, and so. You know, moving on from there, I got to a place where, you know, I said, yo, this is what I'm doing. This is what I gotta do. And you know, just went into it head first, not really knowing anything, not knowing how to make anything. Not, you know, just like, okay, I'm just gonna eat fruit, vegetables, and that's it. You know, nuts, you know, avocado, you know, I started getting into that. And, you know, again, not knowing anything and not knowing how to do anything, you know, so it was like, so it's been really interesting because, you know, ever since I was 14, I started working, you know, I've always worked in kitchens, I've always worked around food, even if it was waiting tables or, you know, I've had a number of different jobs, and even back in, you know, junior high, middle school, I did take home economics. Now, I went to school to, you know, for engineering, and, you know, was very much a scientist in terms of, you know, my secondary education. But, you know, within my spirit, it was like this connection with food. And then, you know, just having a desire to be healthy, all of those things kind of came together. You know, once I really began to find my like real purpose and real passion. And so like I said, it was really just a desire to do the lifestyle first, and then you know, finding out that okay, you can make certain things, like you can make a pizza that's raw, you can make a burger that's raw. You know, these are like staples of American culture, cuisine, right? It is. And it just it got me so curious, and I had such a fire to learn how to do that. And so it's like, okay, you need discipline. You know, you need this. So you know, I went, bought all, you know, whatever equipment I needed, whatever ingredients, and we're just on this mission to learn how to do these things. And it really, it was, and then around the time that I started doing raw food, it was a movement. You know, raw restaurants were starting to pop up around the country. People, it was like an awakening, you know, so very different than vegan vegetarianism, because I think people were, because when you look at the history of raw food, or raw food cuisine, you know, raw food has been around since the beginning of time, but in terms of modern day culture, raw food is basically what it meant was people ate this way. It was very simply, and they were like cancer patients. They were on their deathbed and they didn't want to die. So with today's modern day raw food, it's like there's still definitely a health element to it, but it's one where not only are we not trying to stay alive, we're trying to be super alive. You know, we're trying to see what the human potential can be, and that was my motivation. My motivation was to see how I could be the best version, the healthiest version of myself. So, and I think around that time, and this is like around year 2000, late 90s into that time, right around, like I saw a lot of people driven by that, you know, as motivation. Like, okay, we weren't sick, we didn't have this mysterious disease that there was no cure for, which raw foods have usually helped with people in that regard. No, it was like, okay, you know, I'm good, I just want to be, but I want to be better, you know. And so that was like, I think that is a good summation of like my raw food journey, at least how I got to that point. Basically, most of it comes from what we used to, you know. Like I said, whether it's burger, pizza, lasagna, you know, things like that become not only comfort foods, but foods that you identify with. Right. You know, and the thing is like for example, you may love Indian food, or you may love African food, or Italian food. You know, so really it's like, okay, how do I take that, you know, like those experiences, that specific art form, and say, okay, I want to do my version of it in a raw vegan way, you know, because really, you know, other than, you know, really the main difference is, okay, you're just going to use a different protein. Right. You know, but the spices are going to be the same. Exactly. The herbs are going to be the same. The oils will probably be similar or the same. And also the big difference is like you're doing the process. So whether something needs to be soaked and dehydrated, sprouted, you know, that sort of thing, then you're able to, you know, create this thing. It's just like any art form. You know, we look at music and we see how music is, you know, they blend different genres of music, and or they'll remix it. You know, we all know what the remix is, and you know, so the raw is the raw remix. What's my favorite dish to make? Well, it's definitely probably some kind of entree, you know, because, and I love like, you know, something like that's, like I like cream, I like sauce. Man, that's a good question. I don't know what it is. What's my favorite? Wow, there's so many. So many. What's my go-to?
Yeah, what's your go-to?
I have a couple of. I got a couple of go-tos. Well, I like you know, the coconut crab cake. You know, but I like, you know, doing it with as a wrap, you know, with avocado.
Oh, that sounds
so that's definitely
great.
one of my go-tos. Another one of my go-tos is I mean, this burger. You know, so because you know we make our own bread.
Oh, you do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we make our own bread. Yeah, it's a process.
That's
like I
so
said,
nice.
we're doing things as like, you know, one of the things I say is like your food should look like it came out of a garden.
Yes.
You know, like everything on your plate should be somewhat identifiable to something you would see, you know, in an orchard or in a garden.
Right.
You know, because especially with this type of cuisine, and that's really the signature difference between like doing raw vegan versus cooked vegan. Because a lot of cooked vegan could resemble, you know, the garden plate, but a lot of cooked vegan unfortunately is not. You know, because it's again a lot of processed stuff, which is not going to be the best for you in terms of health. Yeah, it would be more socially conscious, you know, in terms of the ethics of killing animals and the blueprint, the blueprint that it has on the planet. But in terms of like, you know, this animal, this, you know, in terms of the health of this body, you know, we want to, when we do the process in terms of like taking the food as nature created it and being gentle with it in a way like we don't overeat it, we don't disrupt the nutritional integrity of it. So whether it's soaking, sprouting, dehydrating, you know, we want to respect those processes. We're respecting the growing process, because the growing process is the cooking process. So, and you know, for me, it's not the most fair question because I've been doing this so long. You know, so really, you know, I enjoy more the simple things. You know, and I get more into like more exotic fruits, like durian and jackfruit, and you know, like the really, to be honest with you, the recipe stuff is stuff really just in terms of really trying to introduce the public into like, yo, this is possible, like this is, you know. But really, to be 100% with you is like, if I was just making food for me, I would not be making all this stuff. You know, I would be doing very, very simple things. You know? It's like, you know, and so really, and that's why I got stumbled with that question, because it's just not really that. You know. But I enjoy it. Oh, definitely enjoy it. Well, if there's one key vegetable group that is critical, it's green leafy vegetables, and that is really part of a bigger question that I've addressed, because food is so much more than just what's on your plate. It's your culture, it's your relationships, it's your history, it's your traditions, it's your whole life. So when you start to walk down this path, all of those things get affected. So when you ask that question, in terms of what food, well, let's start with green leafy vegetables. Now, why is green leafy vegetables so critical? Is because when you're on a cooked food diet, you're eating largely a lot of processed sugar. Even if you're eating mostly animal products, because a lot of the animals that they're fed probably corn. So corn is a sugar, probably one of the worst forms of sugar, at least the way they're fed. So you're really eating a secondary version of corn. Okay, so no matter what you're eating, you're probably eating, again, either corn directly or secondary corn in the way of animals. All right, so now your body is made up because you are what you eat. So your body, as you're eating the foods, your body is being made in that. So let's just say it's corn or corn sugar. You can say it like that. So now you start to go raw. Your craving is going to be for cornstarch, corn sugar. Okay, your craving is still there, but your mind is saying, okay, I want to go raw, but your body is saying sugar.
Right.
Okay, so how do you resolve that? Because initially what would happen, this is what happened with me, is that I'm gonna eat fruit.
That's what I was just thinking.
Right. See, because again, that's your brain. Your brain is made up of that sugar. So it's controlling your thoughts. Okay, so green leafy vegetables really serve, because that's sugar too, but it's a bitter sugar. See, we're going to want sweet sugar, but the bitter sugar is going to help to undo the sweet sugar. So it's going to be the most important food category in terms of going raw, because all vegans will attest to this, especially as you stop eating animal, your starch consumption increases. So as you mentioned, the vegan mac and cheese,
It really does.
the biscuits and the bagel and the waffle and the vegan breakfast with the pancakes and it's like, stop me, because it's limitless options. Donuts. Again, all vegan, all supposed to be better, but no, because you're going to run into issues. So green leafy vegetables really sort of help to get rid of that starch craving. Okay, and that's going to replace, because if we look at a traditional meal, you'll have a protein and you have a starch. But instead of the starch, that's where you have your salad. Kale, collard, spinach, sea vegetables, mustard greens, bok choy, any greens, whether it's baby leaf, lettuces, romaine, green leaf, red leaf. There's lots of variations of kale. We gotta get into that, and then even like green leafy herbs, parsley, basil, and these things. And like I developed the 5 steps to becoming and staying raw. And that's part of it. Becoming, and I say becoming green. In our environmentally conscious world, it's all about being green, right? Well, I say, well, okay, what about this environment? This environment got to become green.
Right.
So green leafy vegetables become really, at least nutritionally, become, the signature thing. And since I mentioned it, just to go through the other 5, detox. So, you know, the detox with, you know, basically the best only way to truly detox is to fast. So it's just doing a series of water and juice fasting becomes critical. I mentioned becoming green. And then, you know, I touched on some of the other things like culture and tradition and family and relationships. So using your social circle, using your club, that becomes probably the most important. And then, of course, you know, education. So studying, because again, like I said, you know, you are what you eat, and what you eat is also going to affect what you think. So you can't even trust your own thoughts. So you know, the education is going to be critical. And then, you know, last but not least is you got to know how to make a salad. You got to become somewhat of a chef. You know, so those are the 5. And so becoming green leafy vegetables is like the most critical. A lot of what has shaped me is things that I've learned from books. Obviously I've read a lot of books on health and nutrition, raw food, but going to college you read books because you have to, but then outside of that, you know, I've read books on like just self-development, personal finance, business. I mean, all of those books have helped to shape who I am today. And so much so, like, you know, it's my thought, because in some of the most powerful books have been by people who are not with us in the physical, but their work and their influence still continues on. So for me, you know, that was part of like, okay, you know, maybe I can produce something that will be here long after I'm gone from the physical. So, you know, writing the book, and it wasn't like, oh, I gotta write it because, you know, this is for my legacy, even though that would, and actually my current book that I'm working on, that was my first original idea for the book. And the book that I ended up writing, that kind of snuck in a way, or at least just kind of jumped ahead.
Right. And
it started as me just having a monthly newsletter, and you know, being subscribed to different things, and I just wanted to, you know, obviously having a newsletter is about marketing. So it's like, well, I just don't want to send people, if I've developed this list, and I just don't want to send people like things that I'm doing. You know, yeah, I want people to know what I'm doing, but I want to offer something with it. So I would always write an article, you know, on just my ideas about health and nutrition, and it just kind of just grew. And when I started one of my first businesses was the Mojo Juice Club, and basically what the Mojo Juice Club was basically a coming together, bringing people together along the season changes to do a week, kind of like an urban retreat. So we would start, like, it would be a 7-day process where we'd start with raw food. The next 6 days would be just juice, and then we'd break with raw food. And then we'd have like morning yoga. People go to work, do what they do, pick up their juice. You know, we'd have like evening meetings, like it's kind of like support. You know, coming together, we talk. Again, be social. We talk about it. And I started that, and basically there were people that wanted to participate, I guess, from wherever they were, remotely. So, you know, I developed a kind of a manual of what we were doing. business of water. Because I think, you know, water is, well, first, just basic water. Water is life. You know, it's why we have life on this planet. It's why, you know, we are who we are. And as really, you can say, okay, we're water-based beings. Again, it all starts and ends with water. Now, with that said, especially going back to the most addictive food, which is starch. Okay, it's not meat, it's not any starch. Starch, what makes starch starch is the fact that it has no water. Okay, and so bread and rice and these things, you know, but it's a sugar. So again, the most addictive, more addictive than crack, any kind of recreational drug, alcohol, anything is starch. So it's like the Antichrist. If water is Christ, then starch is the Antichrist. Because now if you start to, you know, as we eat starch, what it does is obviously pulls the moisture out of your body. You know, as we said, we see with diabetics, they end up getting limbs cut off because again, there's no water. All the starch is taking up the space in the extremities, because that's what starch does, it settles at the bottom. So when we start to eat the vegan mac and cheese and the potatoes and all those things, the starch ends up going to all of these different places. It starts to settle. So water is obviously beyond critical, but it's not so much drinking water, because even if you're eating starch, yeah, if you're drinking your gallon of water a day, you're just eliminating that right back out. So I go as far, it's not good enough to just drink water. I said you have to eat your water. So what do I mean by that? Well, every food that you eat should have water. Then drinking water is not as critical, because now you're getting water every time you put something in your mouth. So that's where, you know, especially, you know, raw food becomes, you know, absolutely essential in terms of getting the water we need in the way that we need it. See, the body is a juicer. Oh, if we look at the body as a juicer, which it is, you know, as a juicer extracts the juice. We're extracting the juice from the food. But if there's no juice to extract, then what's happening? It's putting an incredible amount of stress on all of the digestive organs. And basically, and then it's creating the addiction. Okay, and so now let's bring it to coconut water. And what's so magical about coconut water? Well, coconut water is both a food and a water. It is the only thing that I can make that dual distinction of. Because even in fresh juice, I have to process that. Like if I make watermelon juice, I mean, I can blend the watermelon with the fiber, but you know, most fruits and vegetables, if I pass through a juicer, it's gonna take the juice from the fiber. So again, that becomes not a whole food. There's benefit, but you know, coconut water is just, you know, the perfect water for us. Almost every other water, there's something that's missing, or something that is not as ideal as a coconut water.